Well then, it's time.
While yes, built around first gen wealth guilt in general, but I've got four badass women on here who, one, are my ideal clientele in general, but also I know have gone through some of this. I don't want to call it first gen wealth guilt per se, but being women, being business owners in this world, and whether it's you're having kids, whether it's you're dealing with all the crap that's going on in the world, I know there's something heavy there. We've all each individually talked about it, but it is there. And it's not only for women, right? Like majority of what we deal with is women, LGBTQ, and minority business owners. Back to it though, it's not just one. It's like the entire part of America where we're the ones that have to deal with a lot more emotions and guilt and things that come up in our life that well, the middle-aged rich white guys don't. Let's just be real about that. So let's walk through that. Let's walk through either you personally, individually, or in general this first gen wealth guilt thing, building what you're building based upon who you are and what our society has raised us all to be or to think to be.
So I don't mind jumping in. So personally, I come from a middle-class family. Both my parents worked. My dad was the breadwinner. My mom, she worked. So career feels like a strong word, but jobs also feels a bit maybe diminished, demean. Like she worked jobs. I don't know if I would say she had a career, but has in more of the later stage started to build some of that career in banking. But growing up, right, I saw my mom work in different areas, different sectors, and she always worked. Her mother, my grandmother, did not. She was a stay-at-home military wife. And so there's been this like, I saw this progression, and what was kind of communicated to me like as a woman is to go out and be independent, and to be able to take care of yourself and not, don't want you to like to depend on a man, like make your own way. And not that those were not helpful messages, because they were simultaneously, like my father, like also very much communicated to like, you can do anything a man can do, like not factually true, but like, I appreciated like the vote of confidence, there, but it was more of like a sense of empowering me. And my dad had a very small CPA practice. So he worked for like a firm, but he saw like clients on the side. But the idea of like being a business owner, I didn't have a model really like for that. I was just told, be able to take care of yourself. And my dad, like he would communicate to me like, hey, work, if you can, like work for yourself, like be your own boss. You can do it. There's a lot, like as a woman, like growing up, like a young one, like there were really empowering, like messages that I heard like on repeat, for both of my parents. But I didn't have a model. Like, what does that look like as a woman who very much is ambitious and like wants a career, wants to build something that is meaningful, but also like I wanted to be a mom. And it was like this, I kind of want to have it all. But I don't even know if I can. That feels maybe selfish. Also, who else does that? I didn't know anyone that did that. And I would say even not still now, but in my personal life. So in my, circle of friends, in my family system, my husband Clayton and I, like we are both business owners. No one else in our family, they're business owners. And there are just unique challenges that come with that. But also like on the female side, and the mom side, it's like, well, you don't have to, like, I get told like, you don't have to work. Like you could just be with your kids and not stress out in the summer, when, they're running around and like, mom, can you take me here? Can you take me there? Like, can you take, yeah, I'd love to just do that, but I also want something else like for me. So there's this, like for me, there's this like constant like tension of like, who am I supposed to be? Who do I want to be? And who do I need to be? And like talking with other, particularly like female business owners. And listen, I'm going to like crap on therapists here for a second, Rachel. This is not like meaning to you, like, but as a clinician, like when I went into therapy, that was a female, is still like a female, it's very female, like heavily like dominated. And I kind of thought like, this is my tribe, like other like female, like practice owners. But I found that, you know, one, they kind of were, but like also kind of weren't. And they struggled with a lot of the same things I did, but that growth mindset of like, I want something more for myself. And like, I want to make a good living. And yeah, I want to help people, but like, I also want to make money too. And there's a sense of like, I do deserve that. You know, and I can do that. I'm capable of doing that. Unfortunately, like more by and large, more so in the mental health community, we talked about shame, like, man, you are like put on the stake and like burned if you start talking about like, I want to make a good living and I want to charge like a, you know, I'll say a premium price because, you know, I offer a lot of value. Like, like there's a lot of like shaming around that. So like even living in that kind of space for over a decade, like really messed with me. And I don't even know if I'm completely out of that since I've moved over to the darker side of financial services. They're like both dark sides. I don't know which one's darker. Like it's kind of depends like on any given day. But you know, some of that has been helpful, like seeing, you know, hey, it's okay for me to make money as a woman, as a mom, as a business owner, like that is okay. But, you know, I'll be honest, like it's still a journey. Like I don't know if I have any answers of what I have figured out other than I'm just not afraid. And I try to surround myself with other people. They may not have it figured out either, but they're also not afraid. And at least I'm in the trenches with other people who aren't scared, as opposed to being alone, or surrounded by other people who claim to have it all figured out. You know, but we all know they do not, and they drink unsweet tea and eat bad barbecue. So there's that.
It's a bad barbecue for me.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
I will never get that.
Yeah, I love what you said about, you know, needing the right support and really not not just leveraging it out to anyone, but getting the support that you actually need. Because I feel like first gen, you're not only carrying your hopes for the future, but you're carrying like generations of disappointments and failures that have happened throughout your family lineage, everything that they couldn't accomplish, their fears, like we're storing that in the subconscious. So whether you're aware of it or not, that's always affecting you. So even your attempt to be a business owner when no one else in your family was is a huge step for your psyche and your nervous system and just as a human, you know, in this lifetime. So it goes back to that giving ourselves grace, because the ability to not only envision that, but take active steps towards it is huge. And I think something that I learned very early on, luckily, was that I didn't have to do it alone, because that loneliness can be so isolating. And if you just start to reach out, like just like Google searches of what companies exist that try to help businesses starting out, what mentors maybe exist in my space, whether it's not just the traditional pathways of this is there, you know, it's being able to explore. I do need support. It may not come in the most conventional or traditional forms of what I know and what my family has known, but there is a lot of support out there that I can tap into.
Couldn't find the button. Yeah, I'm a first gen wealth builder, and it's lonely and exhausting breaking trail. You know, it's very cool to be a cycle breaker. And I'm more and more comfortable with it. But yeah, to really fully have left where my family came from, how I grew up, how my parents were with money. You know, we all kind of tend to, I find, repeat the money patterns that we grew up with. It's like a map, right? This is what we do. And so my parents were educators. It's like you get a job at a school or a nonprofit and you pay the bills, you don't get into debt, but you don't pursue wealth, you kind of break even, you stay among the people, you do good work, you volunteer, and that's about it. And those other people who pursue wealth, they're bad. And so then, I'm living that life when I meet my now husband, who is an immigrant to this country and has full on American dream. Like, I want a mansion, I want wealth. And I'm like, it was a total paradigm shift. We have come to the middle because I'm like, I don't care how much money I have, I'm not taking care of a mansion. Like, no. So we have come to the middle there, but it really disrupted me. Like, oh, it's actually okay to want comfort and have wealth and hang on to that and still be a good person and still do the things that make me feel more connected to my people. But I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable with my wealth. I can just sit, like, makes me, I'll just share that with y'all. I'm still sitting with this, but I also realize that my suffering doesn't help the world, first off. I'm also walking my talk, being a financial therapist, and seeing the safety that wealth provides. And I do want this experience for everyone. And so yeah, that's my share with it. And I'm actively still right now figuring that out. But it is getting more and more comfortable and something I'm proud of, where it was like even a couple of years ago, like my dirty little secret.
Well, that's not as bad of a dirty secret as that you eat terrible barbecue, Rachel. So
That's probably true.
I was going to say,
what about barbecue tofu? We'll do that.
I was going to say, can that be my dirty little secret? No, I love that. Now, I grew up definitely like Ashley, when you were talking before about just like, just having that beat into your head. Like, you can't rely on anybody, you got to I also had that positive reinforcement, but also that piece too. And so it's like a weird thing to kind of sit in between, especially as you get older. So I definitely grew up like that too. And, my stepdad was in private practice on his own, but in my immediate family, I'm also the first person who decided to do this. And I remember when my mom asked me, probably for like the first 4 years, did you find a job yet? Did you find a job yet? And I'm like, bitch, this is my job. I love you. Leave me alone. Right. And now obviously it's like a totally different ball game. But sometimes I think my resilience is what keeps me in trouble, because I'm just like this. I'm not backing down. Like I'm going for it. So it's interesting. It's interesting. But I know that we can't give it up, right?
no, there's a quote that I used to say. I don't know. Maybe I heard it from somewhere. So if I stole it, like I would attribute it to them. I don't know, but I just know since like probably grad school. So I'm 40. So that would have been like 15, 17 kind of years-ish ago, coming up on 2 decades. But I remember very vividly like saying that I would rather bet on myself than anyone else. And I have said that. And I have said that even to Clayton, like I would rather bet on us, right, than put that faith in like somebody else when it comes to our financial success or making our own way. And I think that's been such a motivator, like for me, like in business, like I trust me. This might also highlight some of my own trauma. I recognize that. But like, I trust me. I trust my ability to be resilient. I trust my ability to figure it out, because I think that everything is figureoutable. And I trust, us, like our couple, like unit. And so, those come from like those kind of messages, those beliefs, like those scripts, obviously they come from somewhere. I've got a few of my own little dirty secrets other than my opinions around sweet tea and barbecue that we don't need to go into, but they have informed and really shaped how I pursue this work, how I pursue like building wealth. And I'm not saying that it's right. It's just, that's what I know. And that's what I'm confident in. And so far, like we have a nice life and it's worked out. That path in my brain is very, very clear, and I'm going to continue to take it. I don't know if I foresee a scenario where I go into like corporate W-2, life, and I trust and put my trust in someone else or another corporation. I don't know. Like, I don't want to say never, but it's hard. That's hard for me to imagine and to foresee for myself. So I'll bet on me. I'll bet on us. And that's what keeps me going.
Well, besides the fact that I just threw up about corporate,
I noticed
need to
that.
talk about corporate.
It gave me anxiety to think about.
Yeah. She said corporate. I
I'm like tense.
So we're good there. And we're going to go deeper on this one. I think this one we could hit many different ways. I have a few client stories, but we're out of time for today's roundtable, folks. Okay. However, if you want to get to know what my guilt and how I feel, Ashley and I did a Father's Day episode that comes out next week, and you'll get a really deep glimpse into that. So I'll leave my story for that. But again, Tessa, Christina, Ashley, Rachel, thank you for your time. Listeners, if you've gotten this far, or if this is one of the 3 cut-ups, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. But we always ask this, and is, if you heard something for yourself, take that step forward. If you heard it for someone else, also help them take that step forward. We're all here to help you as much as we can. Again, as on behalf of the NoBS Collective, thank you. If you want to know more, all the resources are on the webpage. It'll be in the newsletters. Reach out to us if you can. Thank you.
The preceding program was sponsored by Black Mammoth. Any awards, rankings, or recognition by unaffiliated third parties or publications are in no way indicative of the advisor's future performance or any individual client's investment success. No award, ranking, or recognition should be construed as a current or past endorsement of Black Mammoth. Information regarding specific awards, rankings, or recognitions is available on the Black Mammoth website, www.blackmammoth.com. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss. Investment strategies such as asset allocation, diversification, or rebalancing do not assure or guarantee better performance and cannot eliminate the risk of investment losses. There are no guarantees that a portfolio employing these or any other strategy will outperform a portfolio that does not engage in such strategies. This broadcast should not be construed by any client or prospective client as a solicitation to effect or attempt to effect transactions and securities, or the rendering of personalized investment advice due to various factors including changing market conditions. The information discussed in this broadcast may no longer be reflective of current positions or recommendations. While information presented is believed to be factual and up-to-date, Black Mammoth do not guarantee its accuracy, and it should not be regarded as a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. The tax and estate planning information discussed is general in nature and is provided for informational purposes only, and should not be construed as legal or tax advice. Listeners should consult an attorney or tax professional regarding their specific legal or tax situation. Past performance is not indicative of future results.